Welcome back to Rcomics, and this is the poll list for January 12th, 2022. And I am Riggs, your host. I read anywhere from 12 to 20 books a week, but these are the top 7 books I am most looking forward to this week. And so without any further ado, let's get started. First book up, Daredevil, Woman Without Fear #1, writer Chip Zdarsky, artist Raphael Delatorre, cover art Jen Bartel. This is going to be the series spinning out of Chip Zdarsky's run on Daredevil and Devil's Reign. This looks awesome. I really enjoyed how Chip was writing Elektra as Daredevil, so I can't wait to see what she does in the spin-off title. Hopefully it brings the Elektra as Daredevil to a nice clean end, or maybe progresses it forward for future stories with Elektra as Daredevil. But I've really been enjoying it. I liked what Chip's doing, and I have a feeling though this is him putting Elektra back into being Elektra and out of Daredevil. But it's been a fun run with it. I can't wait to see what he does with this limited series. Looking forward to picking up Daredevil, Woman Without Fear #1. Up next, HOTELL Volume 2 #1. Writer John Less, art Dalibor Talik and Lee Luffridge, cover art Mike Diodato. This is the best horror anthology going. I loved HOTELL Volume 1. I really enjoyed HOTELL Volume 2 #1. This isn't disappointing. If you want a very good horror anthology, this is the book. It is a group of stories that are standalone stories but do interconnect, and the Pierrot Courts is the hotel that they all take place at, and it kind of links it all together in a very Twilight Zone-esque feeling, and it is phenomenal. It's a very good horror done right. I love it coming off of AWA. These books are fantastic. If you like horror and you like good anthologies and you're a fan of the Twilight Zone, this is a great book to pick up. This is HOTELL Volume 2 #1. Up next, Maniac of New York, BRONX is Burning #2, writer Elliot Kalan, art and cover art Andrea Muddy. This is a great slasher book. The art is fantastic in it. It's very stylistic, so it draws your eye to specific characters, specific actions in it, and it's a great slasher book. This is Maniac Harry back at it again, and now he's tearing up the Bronx. Now he's outside of the subway system and he's wandering through the city. This is a great book. Issue #1 picked right up where it belongs. It's a solid read. If you like slashers, if you're a Jason fan or a Freddy fan, this is a book that you will very much enjoy, so I can't suggest. Maniac of New York, BRONX Burning #2. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers #15. Writer Ryan Parrott, art Marco Reyna, cover art In-Hung Lee. This is the fight that you've always wanted to see if you were a fan of the Rangers back in the 90s when you had that first show come through, Lord Zed versus Zordon, and it should be awesome. Parrott is doing a fantastic job, gives a lot of depth to the Rangers. If you're at all a fan of the early show, the first few seasons there, and you are looking for the continuations of those stories in a well-written, well-fleshed-out way, I can't suggest Mighty Morphin enough, and I'm very much looking forward to the throwdown between Zordon and Lord Zed. It should be spectacular, and I have no worry that Ryan Parrott and Marco Reyna are going to deliver on this throwdown. So Mighty Morphin #15, pick it up. Up next, Robin and Batman #3, writer Jeff Lemire, art and cover art Dustin Nguyen. This is a excellent book. Jeff Lemire never disappoints no matter what he's doing, even though he recently signed an exclusive with Image. This is a excellent DC book. This is Robin's point of view of kind of the early stages of Dick Grayson and how things were, what Batman looks like. So Batman comes off a little harder, a little more brutal in these books because it's from a young boy's perspective of being raised by a crazy vigilante that dresses up as a bat. But it's a excellent book. I really like it. I think Jeff Lemire is doing a fantastic job with it. It is probably the best book about a Robin right now, and there's a lot of Robin books out. Really enjoying it. The art is very good. The writing is excellent and on point. If you want a very good Robin book, I would suggest Robin and Batman #3. Spawn, Scorch #1, writer Todd McFarlane, art Carlo Barbieri, cover art Boran Bren. This is the start of the Spawn 17 books. So you're gonna have Spawn, Gunslinger Spawn, Spawn the Redeemer, Medieval Spawn, and She-Spawn all coming together for one giant book. And it should be just as good as everything else that Spawn has going on right now. Love the Spawn series, love what is going on with it, love the fact that Simmons is fighting his way back and he's not aligned with either heaven or hell in this, and it's causing all sorts of problems. And you've got that Gunslinger series, which is amazing. You got King Spawn series, which is great. And if you read Spawn Universe, the She-Spawn story is very intriguing, and I think that she's going to be the main anchor of the team, and it's going to have all the players, but it's going to be driven by her. I'm very interested to see how this goes. If it's anything like the rest of it, it's going to be a great read and worth every penny of the $2.99 that these usually are, though this number ones tend to be like $5.99. But these Spawn books are fantastic. The Spawn storyline across all of the books is very good. I can't suggest enough picking up some Spawn books, especially if you like old school superhero action and storytelling. Most of the characters aren't necessarily what you would call your traditional heroes. Most of them are anti-heroes, because that's how you become a Hellspawn. It is a very well-written book with a lot of fun, with a lot of good thread lines across the Spawn series right now, and Scorch looks like it's going to be just another addition. I can't wait to see what Todd McFarlane does with a team of Spawns. I think he's going to knock it out of the park, and it's going to be amazing as always. Last but not least, The Rise, number 3. Writer George C. Romero, art and cover art Diego Yapur. This is a very interesting book. It came out last, I think, in July, so I actually had to go back and read issues 1 and 2 again just to remember where I was at before I pick up 3. It is the prequel to Dawn of the Dead, and this is obviously George Romero's son, George C., not George A. Romero. He is writing it for Heavy Metal. This is a very good book, very stylistic. The art in here is very good. I like where the story's going. It's a prequel, and it's basically people trying to figure out how to make super soldiers on their way to creating a zombie apocalypse. It's got some human drama in it. One of the scientists' daughter was in a car crash and is hanging on to dear life and is pretty much brain dead, and he's trying to figure out how to regenerate cells and wants to do this so he can fix his daughter. And it's kind of the story of good intentions paved on the road to hell, with a lot of bad intentions though too. He's not necessarily the most sympathetic figure. There's really not one person in the story that's sympathetic. You're just kind of watching the demise of everybody. This is kind of like the car crash type deal, and it is done pretty well. I've been enjoying it so far. I wish that it would come out more regularly and not maybe, months apart, but I do like it. I am interested to see where the story goes, and I think it's doing a good job. I mean, I want to keep some judgment till I see how the story wraps, but so far so good, and it's a very interesting book. Might not be something you see because Heavy Metal's carrying it and putting it out, and it might not be available, so you might have to order it through your shop. Might not be on the shelf, but it is a good book, and if you get a chance to pick it up, I would say give it a read. These books are only $2.99, and definitely worth a quick flip through. Not too bad. That is the pull list for January 12th, 2022. As always, like, share, and subscribe, and let me know what you enjoyed this week down below. And as always, I'm Riggs, and I will see you next week for the poll.